Yo, welcome back once again. This is the West Coast Crossover. I am JD.
And I'm Jeremiah the Prophet. And this is the podcast where if your team ain't the Lakers, they're trash. And if your podcast ain't this, it's weak as fuck.
Facts. So don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, download the podcast on your Facebook Music app. Yo, we're about to get into what's going on with the Lakers, but Prophet off of the rib.
It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a podcast to listen to. Another week, same shit, no different news. Taking Elzo shot, not hitting true. But Luke Walton's message seemed to be getting through. And Brandon Ingram went from being some skinny dude to being top prospect individual. Let's talk Lakers, JD, nigga, what it do?
This is what it do. We about to break it down for you. What's been going on with the Lakers up until this point. Get into a little bit of team assessment and look what might be going on with the Lakers in the future during the remaining portion of the season, man. So let's get into it, man. We're going to share our thoughts with you. Prophet, man, what you think, man? What's been going on with the Lakers, man? It's been so much to get into, man. What should we dive into first?
Well, from the beginning, the Lakers right now have fallen to the 12th seed of the Western Conference. They are sitting at 8-15 after a rough stretch of games. And they are looking like they might end up around, about 36 wins at this rate that they are going right now. 32, actually, which is not a good look.
Yeah, but it's still an improvement over last year. I think I might take the 32.
Yeah, and you can certainly see the progress that's being made. Recently, Luke Walton was being interviewed on Spectrum Sports, and he was saying that he wasn't really trying to measure the season on wins. Of course, that's that bullshit that all niggas say when they losing. But that he could see progress. Last year, he couldn't see the same type of things that would make him as optimistic as he is now. And I feel the same way. What do you think?
Yeah, I do feel the same way myself. I wasn't really looking too much into the wins as being a measuring point of their success. It was about the progress, particularly with their young players. And I think that we are getting good progress from some of them, particularly Brandon Ingram, who's really stepped up, especially these last handful of games, maybe like 7 to 10 games. I think he's shown a level of consistency and has really found what his game is in the NBA, and now he's really starting to build off of that, and he's starting to look real good out there, both ends of the floor. He's turning into what the Lakers we're hoping that he would be, as far as what he's doing on the floor for the Lakers. So I really like his progress. And then
and
Kyle Kuzma, who obviously is exceeding expectations from considering that he's a rookie and where he was picked at in the draft. You weren't really expecting to get this much production. So in that regards, great for him, man. But personally, I still got that NA on Lonzo Ball. Yeah, There's the criticism for his shot. We all know that. We all there. I'm there with y'all. It's bad. It needs to get better. But like I've stated before, he's been better than advertised defensively. He's been good on the boards from the guard position.
Right.
You can see that ball effect, as you like to say, when it comes to moving the ball, when he's really into the game and the Lakers start to move the ball with energy and find the open man and play the right way, so to speak. But, his shooting woes, they continue to hound him, but I still got faith that those can kind of come around at some point, man. But what's been your thoughts on the progress end of things for the Lakers?
Well, I think that individually, Larry Nance is looking good. Kyle Kuzma's looking good. I can see flashes of what Lonzo may be able to be. Obviously, Brandon Ingram is scoring 30 points against KD, all going right to the cup,
right? Taking him
and getting contact, right? But as a team, the progress is NA. I would say 22 games into the season, it looks like I don't know what the team could be. I mean, I'm saying if they really was trying to get as much wins as possible and they wanted to play the more veteran players the most and forsake the long-term growth, then we could probably win more than 32 games.
Nah, man. Actually, I think if they would play their optimal roster for as much as they possibly could during the game, I really don't see them winning more than maybe 2 games than what they have. So I'm kind of cool with what's been going on, knowing also too, like I said, big picture, they're trying to make a big splash this summer coming up, 2018. So a lot of this is still experiment. It's almost like a season-long tryout to figure out who's going to stick and what their role might be moving forward. I think Jordan Clarkson has kind of carved out a nice role for himself, and you can kind of envision him being that with the Lakers moving forward should they decide to keep him, but we're going to get into that later. But also other guys, you're trying to still figure out, like we were talking about with the young guys, what Lonzo Ball is and exactly what is Kyle Kuzma now, because he's become some kind of undeniable building block for the future, not just some experiment that you got late in the draft. So again, it's a season-long experiment trying to figure out exactly what you're going to do with these guys moving forward. Also thinking about who you might be bringing in this summer. So it's a delicate process, man. I'm with you, man. It's going to make for a record like we have, where you're not getting maybe all the wins that you possibly could.
Yeah. I guess what I was trying to say is that there is an individual process between the players and seeing, because not everybody's going to be there, and it's not like we're building a whole dynasty from these players that we have here. And then there is a season-long progression as a team to where you say, all right, towards the end of the season, we're balling, and trying to run into the playoffs kind of situation that you might be with some other teams. Individually, let's look at some of the stats and the play of the players that we think we'll be having going forward, or we're looking to have go forward.
All right.
Starting with, of course, Lonzo Ball. He is averaging 8.7 points a game, right? 7 rebounds, we'll say, 7 assists, a steal, 2.7 turnovers. All right. As a rookie, if you just saw that dude on the Milwaukee Bucks, what would you think of those?
I would probably think in my head like that dude can't shoot. And that's pretty much it watching the game, man. And I think that's kind of accurate right now. It's just he can't shoot. But if you're not watching kind of every game to see what kind of effect he has, you really can't get a fair assessment on those numbers, because there's such an anomaly. You don't really have a player that puts up numbers similar to that, especially when you factor in the shooting. So just again, man, looking at him from what I've seen, he might, if he doesn't pick up the shooting, project into something like Rohan Rondo or something of that nature, man.
Rohan.
Whatever, dog. Rohan, dog. Big head. Rajon Rondo. Dog. He might project into something of that nature if he doesn't get his shooting right. And he had a couple of years where he was like, an all-star, and you would just have to really have a certain type of player around him.
But
and what's that?
Rohan, dog. Rohan would be a great player if he didn't have attitude problems, man. I'm serious. Rohan, a lot of people wanted Rohan on their team, man. Rohan Rondo.
Well, yeah. But, and if you know what you got with him, and got players around him that he can play with, and that disregard that attitude, you got something, because you're not asking them to shoot, you're not asking them to score, but the Lakers don't have that right now, man.
But real talk, Rajon Rondo and another player that you would look at their stat line, and if you were just looking at it, someone that averaged 9 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, block and a steal, you'd be like, Draymond be putting up numbers like that all day long and has major effect on games. He does that a lot. That's a damn near triple double. You know what I'm saying? That's a potential triple double every damn game. You know what I'm saying?
Those potential triple doubles ain't really the same though.
No, they're not, because it's a different position is what I'm saying. As a point guard, you don't see that very often. That's why Rohan Rondo was such a valuable asset. Real talk though. I'm serious. They won championships with Rajon Rondo because they had a squad around him. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, as a rookie, if I saw Malcolm Brogdon over in in Milwaukee, the untrained eye would rather see a 16, 2, and 4 stat line from the point guard position. But to me, man, when I look at a dude that does all that, those actually look like pretty decent numbers to me. Just by the, with a blind eye. Real talk.
Yeah, and you know what? Just like I was saying, but if I was looking at it from say he's on another team and I just see these stats, like I was saying, I would actually need to see what he was doing on the floor, because like I was saying, and like you just mentioned, it's kind of such an anomaly where you don't normally see a stat line like this from a point guard. So I would be like, all right, well, let me see exactly what his effect is on the floor, because judging from these numbers, it's a little bit hard to tell.
Now, looking at him on the floor, what's the first thing that you see?
You know what? It kind of depends on his mood. If he's into the game, the first thing that I notice is the energy level of the entire team, and it does seem to kind of emanate from him as being the focal point for that. When he's confident and he's playing his game, he's not worried about scoring. If he does, he does. If not, so what? But he's basically concentrating on making the right play, getting those outlet passes going. I like what I see as just a basketball player. Forget what you expect from the position, just as a basketball player, and just like Rajon Rondo, remember how they had a big three and he wasn't part of that?
Right.
I think Lonzo might be in the situation where maybe that might be his best role, where you bring in 3 dope players and Lonzo's just a facilitator for all that. And he's just letting that go, running the machine. So, looking at him, that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Just take his shooting out of it. What can he be that's valuable? How can he help a team win? That might be the way.
When I look at him, the thing that stands out the most to me, and if I didn't even know him, I think I would still look at it, probably be worse on him about it, is I'm like, man, this dude looks scared. The first thing that pop out to me is like, that dude's scared, man. He ain't about that life like that.
Yeah. And he's one or the other, man. He's either confident or he looks timid and scared.
And, I think that that could be a good or a bad thing. It could be good in the sense that, well, when he's not scared no more, he might be a hell of a damn baller. Or it could be like he's a scared type of nigga, and those are never good. You know what I mean? So, like you said, maybe I think at his floor, he is what you described as far as the guy that's not part of the big three, the facilitator for the guys that do all the damage on offense.
Almost like an Avery Johnson type of role, not the same type of player. Don't get me wrong, please.
But the same type of role.
But that type of role.
I get it.
Yeah, floor general.
At the top of it, at his highest potential, he may be able to be a dude that could actually be a threat himself and facilitate. And that would put him into not the same player, but the same role of what Chris Paul may do.
If he gets something, a consistent shot, like I say, that's reliable, and maybe scores maybe just 15 points, and the defense has to respect him when he has the ball in his hand in a scoring position, he can actually become a transcendent type of player, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because that's going to open up more of those passing lanes that he likes to get into, and he's going to be into the game because he can do so much, and there's no reason for him to be scared. He can play free, and he can be himself, and he can, again, be a transcendent player that we haven't really seen before, who's just the floor general. But again, that's the top end. We really haven't seen much of that.
Well, I got the gun to your head right now, my dude. You about to die if you don't make the decision. Baller or bum. Now. Dead.
Baller.
All right. All right. I'll let you live, man. You call him a baller. So he says baller. That's what he takes. All right. Man. So we'll skip over Andrew Bogut and Corey Brewer and Vander Blue.
I appreciate it.
I won't skip over this one. Kentavious Caldwell Pope. He is averaging 13.7 points a game on 41. Wait, let me finish, bro. Almost 14 points a game on 41%. He's shooting 35% from the 3-point line. He's getting 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal and a half, and almost 2 turnovers a game. What do you think, Doc? What do you think?
I am just tolerating my way through the season with this dude. Look, this is what I think. On paper, if you're not watching the game, that kind of sounds good. And what it reminds me of is, say you're talking to a chick online, dog, and she has all the stats. She's like 4', she's got the proper weight and height, on these measurements, and like she's able to send you all these filtered pictures, and it looks kind of good on paper. But then you go out, dog, and like something happens where that layer of makeup comes off, or maybe a track or something falls out, dog. Like you're with her and you can really see the blemishes underneath what you saw on paper, dog. If you watch these games, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope will make you want to jump through your TV, wrap your fingers around each inch of his throat, and squeeze the life out of him with some of the dumbass things that he does on that court, dog. Yeah. For real. But then you can't get too mad at him, because right when you're in the midst of being pissed at him for going 1 for 5, this nigga busts like 2 or 3 3-pointers in a row out of nowhere and gets the Lakers back into the game. And then you're kind of sitting there with this bitter underlining feeling like, yo, I'm still pissed off. I still hate you, my nigga. Even though I have to sit here and appreciate that you are single-handedly bringing the Lakers back. But then after he hits those 3 shots, he'll feel himself and throw up a dumbass air ball and then do a turnover. And then let his man blow by him. And then you're right back to like wanting to kick his teeth in because the Lakers are down 14 points again, dog. So don't be fooled by the makeup, dog. KCP is fucking a cover girl, dog. That's what he is.
Hey, wow, man. Hey, look, I like KCP and on defense. But here's my evaluation on him. He seems to be wound up super tight, dog. Like on defense, he's all over the place and he's real pesky. And he's like real active, but on offense, his mind is still going like a million miles a minute. He got the numbers flying through the side of his head and shit, like Alan from The Hangover.
Just looks all spastic. Yeah, Alan from The Hangover. That's a good comparison, dog.
He shoots a lot of random ass shots, and you be like, okay, dude, you made it that one, bro, but don't ever do that shit again. Then he does.
Dog, if what they need to do with this dude, dog, is sometimes you got to call that extra timeout, and clearly this nigga needs a dose of Adderall or something, dog, to calm his ass down and focus, dog. Focus.
Yeah, he needs some Ritalin. That nigga need Ritalin. Yeah. All right. Well, he's 24 years old.
He is, dog.
Gun is to your head. Baller or bum, quick.
Bum, dog. Bum, nigga. Do not kill me. Bum. Man. I have an answer for your ass immediately. Bum. Get him. Oh, dog.
All right. Okay. Now, seriously, Jordan Clarkson. He's averaging almost 15 points a game.
So you know.
All right, he's averaging almost 15 points a game on 48% shooting, 36 from the 3-point line. He's getting 3 rebounds and 3 assists a game, 2 turnovers. What do you think? What do you think about him? Okay, you already said that he's a baller, but what do you think as far as like him going forward in the future? What kind of player he can be?
I like him because I see him for the remainder of his career, if he wanted to be, is just being that dynamic 6th man off of the bench and continuously being in the conversation for 6th man of the year, able to average 15 points off the bench, sort of like he's doing now, able to give you consistently punch off the bench if you're lacking with your starting unit. I like Jordan Clarkson for who he is, which is a dynamic scorer off your bench. You know,
right.
If he was,
and you believe that's who he is. Do you believe that he's going to get any better? Do you believe he's going to get better?
I honestly don't. I believe that he thinks he might, but I think that he is who he is. I think the role that he's playing right now is best suited for him and his career, and probably how he can be the most productive. But like I said, I think personally he might feel a little bit different. I know I probably would in his situation, but I like his role on the Lakers where he is moving forward in the future, if that's what you know is the plan.
Hey man, I gotta agree. Now let me ask you this: do you think that KCP will get better?
No, I do not think that he will get better. I think that he is what he is, and that's a sporadic player. He's definitely an NBA player. I don't think that he's a starting caliber NBA player. I think that he might actually be best suited for that Lou Williams shooting guard off the bench type of role where he can just come in for short spurts, shoot the ball for you because that's all he wants to do, and hopefully play some good defense. But I would like for him to be doing that bullshit he be doing on a different team after this season. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's super, super, super trash. I'm just saying he smells like super, super, super trash. But
hey,
he can. What?
Go ahead, man. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Dog. That's it. Dog.
But look. My point I'm making is that Jordan Clarkson is 25 years old and KCP is 24 years old. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that both of them dudes are basically what you're going to get. And that now KCP, I believe, can be more valuable simply because he plays very, very good defense a lot of the time. He'll make some mistakes like all players do. And, he can just be sporadic, and a little crazy out there. But, I mean, he gets his hands on loose balls at a higher rate than anyone on the team other than maybe Corey Brewer.
Yeah, and he also creates loose balls on the offensive end for the
yeah. But so does Jordan Clarkson, man. I'm serious.
Yeah, it's almost.
That's why he doesn't start over. That's why he doesn't start over Lonzo Ball. By the way,
what? No, it is. Lonzo has to start. Lonzo has to, just because of he's supposed to be the future, the franchise. He has to start that.
No. I think that yes, because he's the future. Or he's supposed to be the future. They want to give him the best shot at going out there and starting and all that stuff. But I bet on everything, man, that if it suited him better to come off the bench and learn from Jordan Clarkson, then that's what he would do. But at times, I swear, I'm watching it and it seems like Jordan Clarkson needs to learn from Lonzo Ball how to fucking run offense. I'm serious.
No, I know what you mean, but I just don't see that he's that type of player. So that's why I think he should be coming in off of the bench, and that's why I believe that's his ceiling is kind of where he's at. And that's why I don't mind him on the Lakers in this role too, because unlike KCP, I think his cost is good for his value. So having him on the roster, if Lonzo kind of develops into something and we bring in a good two guard, then we'll have one of the best backcourts in the league. So that's why I like Jordan where he's at, because I think, again, that maximizes his potential. Because you get him in there for too damn long, shit can start backfiring. There's some diminishing returns with him.
Right. Yep, I feel you. All right, so we're going down the line, and we got Kyle Kuzma. What do you think of now his stat line? All right, obviously sounds good. Let's see here. He's averaging almost 17 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and I'm trying to look at his steals, 0.4, but with 2 turnovers.
And don't forget to mention that he's shooting, let's just say 50% from the field.
Yep.
And 38% from 3. As a guy, he's not just taking, 4, 5, 6 shots a game, easy shots. No, he's taking he might be taking the most shots on the team for all I know. But he's playing like a seasoned vet already. I don't believe, even though that he went to college for 4 years, I don't believe that he's reached his ceiling. I think
I'm do you think his ceiling is? What do you think his ceiling is?
I think his ceiling is an all-star caliber type of player. I think maybe he might be one of those type of players that might not make an all-star team, but is that type of player similar to Damian Lillard? Like, nobody would deny that he's an all-star player, but Lillard doesn't make all-star teams just because of the glutton of players in front of him. I think Kyle Kuzma can be that type of player, man. I don't think that he's done improving. I think that he has, how we were talking about Lonzo Ball can be timid. I don't think he has any of that in him at all, and I don't think that he's overconfident. Like some young dudes be overconfident and need to be humbled. I don't think he has that level. I think he has a perfect balance of confidence and where he wants to be as far as a player is up there with those dudes, and I believe him. And I think moving forward that him and Brandon Ingram can become an extremely dynamic duo in the NBA in this new type of era that we play in as a 4 and 3, where they can both kind of switch back and forth, spread you out all over the floor, be athletic, and do all kind of things, and really lead the Lakers into their future if he develops into that all-star type player that I think he has the capability to be. So that's what I think about that dude. I'm very high on him. I like what he does. I think his defense will get better. There's been lapses here and there, but he's still a young dude. I'll give him that young dude pass on that. I'm real high on him.
Kyle Kuzma, I believe that the way he plays at his size, he's 6'9". He can score on all 3 levels. He is looking for his shot pretty aggressively. With his level of athleticism, with his age, and where I see his ceiling would be Max Melo, which is a dope player, right? Melo's a baller.
Yeah.
But he's not a defensive guy. You know, he kind of he looks for a shot a whole lot, and he can score on all 3 levels, and he's sick with it. You know. And I would take him all day long. But Kyle Kuzma reminds me a little bit of his game, which is a high compliment, in my opinion. And low as a floor, I see someone like Tobias Harris or Rudy Gay.
That's not a bad low, man. That's not a bad high low at all.
No, it's not. Tobias Harris, more than Rudy. Rudy Gay is a better defender. Tobias Harris is somewhat like a fake 2-way player, but he definitely gives you buckets, though. He definitely will give you a solid, you know, he could give you 18 if you featured him, or 20, you know. Right. And
he's a ball, sure.
Huh? Yeah. And, you know, and 10 rebounds or something like that. No one would consider him, he's not in the all-star considerations or anything like that, but he's a baller.
He is a baller.
You know, you put him in the Laker uniform, and all of a sudden, you know,
I'd be happy with it.
Right. I think that some people get a little bit extra on Kyle Kuzma. I feel like, you know, somewhat like they'll call Melo trash and say Kyle Kuzma is the future, you know, because he's putting up the numbers that he's putting up on offense, you know.
I get it. I don't call Melo trash, man.
No, I know. But some people do. I watch on our forums and stuff. You know, they're like, Melo's boo boo. Nobody wants him. And it's like Melo do everything that Kuzma could do better.
But you know what?
Right now, today.
But the reason I bring that up is because I'm one of those people that I think Melo's good, but I really wouldn't want him on my team. You know. So
what I'm saying is, you know, we want Kyle Kuzma. Both of us do. You know,
absolutely.
And I see a lot of that kind of thing to him. He does almost shoot it every time he gets it. That's real shit. You know, but he's pretty successful, so ain't nobody minds it. You know what I mean?
I definitely don't mind it. Not with this team.
Right. Especially on this Laker team that we have, you know? But
especially in consideration of what you were expecting from this random dude from Utah you never really heard of that much of before. So
two people that shoot it almost every time they get it on the Lakers are Kyle Kuzma, and the next person I want to talk about is Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram also, most of the time he gets it, he attacks to the right and goes to the basket, but he's very successful with it because he's averaging 16 points a game on 46% shooting, 30 from the three-point line, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and almost a steal a game, but 2.5 turnovers.
Well, most of those numbers are trending up with that dude. So I think that's going to continue over the season. You know what? One thing about Brandon Ingram really is his development actually is helping me be a little more patient with Lonzo Ball, because I do kind of remember feeling the same way about Brandon Ingram last year, where I was like, man, I'm not sure if this dude is going to be all that he's cracked up to be, this, that, and the other. But I did see his development over last season, and now I see it this season. And again, like we've already mentioned, he's turning into the guy that we thought that he might become. So that actually helps me hold out a little bit of hope for Lonzo Ball, seeing his transformation from, 1 year and done, 19-year-old rookie to where he is now. And, he's been balling. He's developed that move to the basket where he's just taken those 2 big long steps and he's been able to get there. He's been able to finish a lot better than he has been able to in the past. And even in the beginning of this season, I think that's going to get better as he continues to get older and add some more weight and strength to his body.
Yep.
That skill that he possesses now at finishing is very high. So when you add that component to it, it's just going to get even better. And he's going to find himself in a lot of and one situations. And when he's doing that lately, and when he's knocking down his mid-range shot, who he actually reminds me of a lot is Big Game James. When he's out there running the floor, he's getting to the cup, finishing at the rim. He's doing it efficiently. He's hard to stop. Quick first step. Yeah. He's making big plays on defense. He's actually kind of reminded me of his game a little bit. And I've really liked what I've seen from Brandon Ingram after being a pretty big critic of this dude.
Well, just like it reminds you, when it comes to Lonzo, I feel the same way. And last year, I was the guy screaming from the hilltops, chill out on Brandon Ingram and D'Angelo Russell. Both of them dudes are ballers, man. Everybody's super hype on Jordan Clarkson. He's done. That's as good as he gets. Last year, I was screaming it. And seems like you agree with me. Reluctantly.
Yeah. I do. I'll agree with you in what regard to Ingram?
Brandon Ingram obviously is filling into himself, right, coming around. Man, when he starts doing step backs, not charging to the basket every time and knocking down that little mid range, using his length over people, man, he's going to be a monster.
Well, you know what? He's setting that up by being so successful with those drives. When he starts knocking down that mid range and he can, bam, fake step back, boom, he's going to be deadly. So, and like I said, deadly. Combining that with Kuzma's game is going to be something moving forward. So,
well, I hold out high hopes for Lonzo in that same way. I feel that he's definitely going to be a lot better next year and maybe even 2 years from now, taking a huge step forward. And I see Brandon Ingram trending up, and the sky's the limit for him, in my opinion, man. He plays defense well too. You know how I hold that in a high regard, and
as well as
he's all over it. Speaking of defense, Julius Randle has definitely stepped up his defense this year. He's been in a limited role, but he's still averaging 12 points a game on 55% shooting. He's averaging 6.5 rebounds and 1.7 assists, 2 turnovers a game. What do you think about him real quick?
I think the same thing that I thought at the beginning of the season. I was real high on Julius. I thought he would be the best player for the Lakers this year. And from time to time, he has been for the Lakers. He's been coming off the bench after kind of sulking about that role in the beginning. He's embraced it, and he's played very well. He's packed a big punch off the bench and helped the Lakers get back into some games after falling down early. He's been bullying people down low. He's changed his body, and you can kind of see that effect on the floor, especially defensively, and it's just activity level, man. He's playing so damn hard in the spurts of minutes that he gets. Yeah. It's just, you can tell it's just because he's lost a lot of weight and he's in shape now. He's dunking on niggas all buck wild, blocking shots. He's getting after it on defense, hustling. He's, like I said, bullying people. He wants to fight. I like what Julius Randle does. I wish that he was going to stay on the team. And again, maybe there's a way that happens in the offseason. We'll see. The numbers are kind of funny with him. He's going to be a free agent, but I like what Julius has been providing to the Lakers on the floor as both the 4 and the 5. I kind of wish he would chill on the 3-pointers and just keep bullying people and down low. But I'm good with what I've seen with Julius, man.
Julius Randle is a baller. He's been doing very well. But the only problem is, as with Larry Nance and Kyle Kuzma both on the team, I think he's the odd man out. He's getting paid a whole lot, looking to get paid more than either of those guys will be getting paid combined in the near future. Yes. And Larry Nance Jr. is putting up almost 10 points a game with more rebounds and half the turnovers. in the same kind of time limit that Julius Randle's had, even though he's had some injuries. And so, man, he's the odd man out. Plus, I gotta say, man, I can't stand Julius Randle's hairstyle, bro. What the fuck are you doing up there, bro? So I kind of feel like, he may not be a part of our future. And with what you were talking about earlier, Rob Pelinka was saying that the trade boom is going to happen on December 15th. He may be one of the dudes that's getting moved. And
well, just real quick, let me quote that, man, because we can get into that. Just quoting Rob, he said on December 15th, I think you're going to see the trade market open up. I think teams are going to be aggressive. I always say when there's limited cap room, there's more trades. When there's tons of cap room, teams tend to be more free agent focused. Since there's limited cap room around the league, I think teams are going to be aggressive with trying to reshuffle. So that brings us back to that Randle maybe, and that point of which Lakers might be in the discussion of being traded.
I think that of all the Lakers to be traded, Luol Deng, of course, they would like to get rid of. He hasn't even been with the team, but no one wants that guy. So, in order to dump him, that makes quite a few people expendable, which would be probably anybody but Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and probably Lonzo Ball. I think that anyone else on the team could get it, bro. And Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, being an expiring contract, is actually in the mix of all that too. If somebody wanted to buy some, get some people off their books.
Yeah, man, but I don't mind keeping that dude just because of his contract. Because that's the only thing valuable about him is when the season's over and his contract is gone.
But the Lakers are gonna have to do something, and so. If there's someone who may not be in a happy state, like let's just say someone like I don't know, an Anthony Davis or DeMarcus Cousins, right? If their team is not working out, or if someone decides that they want to move on the way the Bulls moved on with Jimmy Butler last year, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope could definitely be in a package with Julius Randle and maybe Jordan Clarkson or whoever, and someone would be able to clear their books that way.
That brings back that type of player. I ain't mad at that.
No, not at all. But and that would be wishful thinking for the Lakers. But it just goes to show that there's a way that any of them dudes can be gone. And Julius Randle, I think, is at the top of that list, especially because his hair is fucked up. And I think he messes up the Lakers pictures with his hairstyle. But speaking of fucked up hair, man, we had a game that we just played last week that we almost won against the damn Warriors, bro. And we didn't do a show after that, but we have to put them dudes to the flame, bro.
You know it, man. It's time for that good old roasting session. Get him!
Bro, serious as hell. Let me wipe my face. KD's hair pisses me off, bro. It actually fucking bothers me. It reminds me of this time that I bought a tostada, and they not only burned the taco meat, but they had the nerve to not put enough damn meat on the shell, and you can see dry ass tortilla where the food is supposed to be, nigga. That's what the fuck KD's head looks like, bro. This nigga is the only black man that could get a perm, and the most woke black Nation of Islam nigga on earth wouldn't call him a sellout for it. They'd be like, I overstand why you did that, my brother. That's how bad this nigga's hair grade is, nigga.
It is the worst, nigga.
Oh my goodness.
Weird.
Look. Man, opposite of KD though, BDB KD, on the Warriors, you have my G Klay Thompson, dog. With the white man waves, nigga. Like,
that white man that was the wave cap, dog.
Yeah, nigga. Look. You know how normally, like, the mixed dudes do getting good with the ghetto chicks in the hood? You know what I'm saying? Like, they be down with that kind of shit.
Nigga.
Yeah, bro. Well, I promise you, nigga, not even LaTanya with the blue individuals and the pajama pants on will tell that nigga he got good hair, nigga. They be like, boo boo. Your waist is not popping, boo boo.
Always brushing them too, though, Doc.
He uses the brush with the little beads on the end, nigga. You know what? He looks like one of them kids' toys where there's the white bald man, nigga, and you use the magnet pencil to draw a goatee and like a hairstyle on him.
And he probably brushes his hair with one of those little black finger brushes, dog.
Yeah, the one you slide over your middle finger. Yeah,
right.
He looked like a white R&B singer that has to dress up to like appease his predominantly black female audience, nigga. Like
John B.
John B. reincarnated.
No wave cap, dog. He has a hairnet.
Dude. The whole roster, dog. I think they got a team barber that is like the owner's mom, nigga, like a 70-year-old white lady named Reba.
With a Flowbee, nigga?
Yeah. With a Flowbee, or she used to work at Supercuts, nigga, you know what I'm saying? So they let her give the job. And, you know, she's the owner's mom, so they got to respect her. That is the only excuse for a collection of black men with haircuts the way the Warriors have, bro. I mean, for real. Look. Draymond and Steph, they both got that same just make it nice and neat Prince Hakeem fro, nigga, with no edge up. Who does that?
Their haircut always looks 4 weeks old, dog.
Right. Aren't these niggas rich? I mean, for real. What?
Aren't they in the Bay Area? I know they got good barbers up there, dog.
I'm seriously, dog. Do they really seriously like cut each other's hair and just put like that number 3 guard, dog? 3 guard all the way around and just get the fuck up before the lineup process begins, nigga? Are you serious? I do not get it, dude. How does a millionaire black man consistently have a haircut worse than any nigga in West Valley Detention Center, nigga? The niggas in jail don't even have clippers, bro. And they stay fresher than all the Warriors. I'm serious. Have you seen Steph and Draymond, dog? Every time I see these niggas, dog, I be like, they got that homeless Jamaican sideburn thing going on.
Yeah, dog. Steph kind of looks like bathroom carpet or whatever it is.
when you mix it with this like baby dolphin teeth, nigga, it looks like a badass kid, nigga, whose mom works all the time and don't got no man around the house to like shape him up and shit.
I'll just be out at like 9:45 at night.
Nigga, Steph looked like that badass kid, like you know the lady, ghetto ass lady in the neighborhood that got a baby by the light skinned nigga that
the drug dealer, dog. She used to look good at high school.
Right. The drug dealer, light skinned nigga with green eyes, dog, that came through and cut the ghetto girl in the neighborhood and just left her with the baby, nigga.
Before he blew up.
Right. And you know what I'm saying? The little kid, he's good at basketball and shit, you know what I'm saying? But he'll be looking homeless in the motherfucker, dog. The mom be working all the time. He got on like some fucked up shoes, no edge up, dog. His teeth all fucked up, can't get braces. But the nigga's a baller. I'm serious, dog. I believe that's not really Dale's son, nigga. That's like some ghetto ass kid that they adopted from the hood.
Oh, that's my God. He probably got finessed by the girl in the hood, got cut by the drug dealer. They didn't want him to be the dad, but she was good enough to get with the ball player. Hey, y'all both light skinned, dog. Teach this nigga a jumper.
Right, man. I'm telling you, bro. Man. You better not
get off the haircuts, dog, without mentioning JaVale McGee, dog.
Right.
Who somehow had a haircut time travel from 1984 into 2017. Nigga, why do you have a ducktail? Why, dog? In 2017 AD going on 2018, nigga, you have a ducktail and you've had it for a minute. Tell this nigga, somebody put it in his contract that he has to get that taken care of.
Once again, this nigga is from Coming to America, dog. He got the fucking Prince's lock. This nigga has the Prince's lock.
Going for it, dog.
In 19 fucking 86, there was like 7 niggas at the ghetto school, dog. Not even all the niggas at the school had it. But there were like 7 niggas, like Trayvon, Marquise, Nim, the 2 brothers. They had that fucking rat tail.
They had the rat tail with the lie.
and everybody else was
John.
You know what I'm saying? The girls will flick it every once in a while, walking behind him, dog. And this nigga somehow managed to hold on to that shit in 2017.
He didn't hold on to it, dog. I'm telling you, it time traveled by itself and looked on its head. Because I've seen him with a regular haircut. He grew that out. Oh my God, dog. Anyway.
And then also another nigga with no shape up. What the fuck? I'm serious, dog. Have you ever seen a collection? Have you ever seen 4 niggas in any room? I'm serious. 4 niggas in any room, even including a fucking jail room, dog. Even in jail lunchrooms, you cannot find 4 black men with no fucking shape up. And they got like 7 niggas on the Warriors like that. How the fuck does that happen? How does that happen?
I don't know. What happened to the days when all these athletes traveled with a barber, bruh?
That's what I told you. They barber is the owner, Joe Lacup's mom, dog.
Yeah, don't believe shape ups. The Bangs will take care of it. What Bangs? Bitch, no, shape that up. Give this nigga a lineup, please.
Yeah. You know, it's like a barber that just ain't never seen a black person before. They ain't never cut black hair in their life. And this nigga then all them come sit in the chair and she hit him with the Flowbee or the number 3 guard, nigga, just bzz, and then, all right, you're good. Shake the hair off. You got, get on up, you done. All of the niggas. And then leave the rat tail on JaVale McGee. What? Oh, man.
You know that rat tail stinks too, dog. God.
Yeah, you know it. It smells like pink oil moisturizer.
It's right above. You got that headband right above it, dog. All the sweat dripping into it.
Dude, come on, man. Warriors, you might be a great basketball team, but that's the reason you're number 2 in the West is because
y'all niggas got some fucking shape ups like some Warriors, nigga. Some old school Battlefield Warriors shape ups, dog.
Right. You need this. If you get your shit straight, like James Harden, keep his barber with him. You know what I'm saying? Trimming the beard and the mohawk. And y'all niggas need to get like him, and that's why they number 1 and y'all number 2. That's real talk.
Facts. It looks like y'all got some kind of unity thing going on where y'all supporting Steve Kerr during his illness by not getting shape ups or something. I don't know, dog.
It's like a Movember situation.
Y'all niggas don't get shape ups.
Yeah, it's like that Movember, no shape up December, nigga. I don't know what the fuck y'all niggas doing, but stop it.
Y'all niggas get some shape ups for Christmas, bro. Come on, it's Christmas.
Really? Anyway, and Julius Randle, he consistently has that fucking Burton Ernie fucking that Burton. I'm looking at a picture right now, dog.
Yes.
What the fuck, Harry? What do you even ask for, nigga? Where do you go to the barber, nigga? You sit down and be like, give me that fucking the orange guy from Sesame Street, nigga. Hit me with that
Grace Jones piece, please.
What the fuck is that, man? It's like, and he sponges it too, like a fucking nigga. Oh god,
it's like a mohawk, fucking mullet.
Without the back. It's a mohawk without the back part.
Bowl cut,
mohawk bowl cut.
It looks like the headrest of a fucking Corvette. The old school.
Oh, dude, it
looked like a motorcycle, one of those saddleback thing motorcycles, the Harley long ass. This shit's crazy,
dude. My jaws is hurting, man, because I'm laughing, dude, talking about these Warriors and these fools jacked up haircuts. Who the Lakers got coming up next? We got a rough stretch coming up.
Hey, man, it was already tough for the Lakers as we're standing right now, but in all seriousness, man, they do got a tough stretch of games coming up. They need to stay united through that shit. They got the Sixers coming up, who we just recently played. They got to do that in Philly, though. After that, they follow that up with a game against the Hornets, surging a bit. The Knicks, maybe they can get that win there. Who knows? And then they play the Cavs. All those games are on the road, man. Then when they come home, they got to see the Warriors. They're only home for a game, bruh. Then they hit the road again. Go to see Houston, who we just dealt with as something fierce. Broke us off very proper liking. Then they have to see Golden State after that in the Bay Area. They got a little 4-game homestand to close out the month after that stretch of games. But man, y'all just, again, all I can tell you at this point, look for the improvement. Don't look for the W. Look for the improvement. Look to see if Brandon Ingram keeps up the balling. Look to see if Lonzo Ball can find his jump shot on the road somewhere. Maybe it's out there in Charlotte or New York somewhere. You can find it. Maybe you might get one for Christmas. That'd be dope. But again, look for improvement, not W's, because this is a rough stretch coming up for the Lakers. Yikes.
Well, during that time when the Lakers are having a rough stretch, you can check us out and we'll talk about it, man, and we'll get jokes on there, and we'll update you on what's going on with the Ball family, because they kicked LeVar. They trying to shut LeVar up, you know what I'm saying, and won't let him talk after the games, right?
Yeah, they're not letting my man LeVar talk after the games, citing an old rule they said was already on the books, which I'm like, I don't know why you would even call that the LeVar rule. I know that's an area strict for family. They don't want media there talking to family anymore. First of all, I don't even really think, LeVar needs a specific location if this dude wants to make his thoughts or opinions public to the masses. He can do what we doing and do a podcast and say what he wants and have 1 million people hear it. He can say what he wants and it's going to get out there is the main thing. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't think they're worried about it like that. They just don't want the media all up in the little spots over there doing it right after the game in the emotions of the moment, like it's happened the last 2 games. You know what I mean? As long as they catching them out on the streets with a little TMZ Jones, they ain't worried about all that shit. It's just it's starting to get that after game press conference, nigga. They're trying to kill that though.
They're running straight to him instead of a player.
Yeah. That's a good idea, I think, to kill that. Shut this nigga up somewhat, nigga. Let him talk on his own, not on the Laker channel and shit.
Fact, yeah.
Anyways, real quick, speaking of them, he evidently, LeVar Ball is behind removing LiAngelo completely from the UCLA basketball program since he's suspended anyway. And I've even heard rumors of him potentially taking him and LaMelo overseas, having them ball over there instead of going through the traditional route, which I think actually low-key is a great move. They're gonna talk about him and they're gonna say, oh man, the boy is still in and you're gonna take him off the program and not let him face his discipline that he's owed or whatever. But man, everybody else will want to get their money and do all their shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Ode says who would be my response to that, because I haven't really read too much up on that, but I think I called this a while ago as far as I could see LeVar. I thought he was going to do this with the youngest one, LaMelo. Forget college, because they're looking at that as an impediment almost at this point.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. If he has to play, why not have them play overseas and start building their brand overseas? Since you want that brand to be so big, you want it to compete on this level, it's got to get that big anyway. Go a whole new route. It's already been done a couple of times before. Most recently, I can think of Emmanuel Mudiay, where he went over there and then came into the league, and he said it was a positive experience playing amongst men and having to get that type of real world education and the culture shock that comes with it, and what you learn in that time period compared to being coddled in college for a few months until you declare for the NBA draft and, leave college all early. Forget that. I think this might be something new, and they could be blazing a whole new. Hey, have Jello go play in China.
That's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly on everything. I was saying it to my son earlier. We were talking about that. My son's the one who brought it up to me, and actually it was my daughters. They were saying, I heard that they're going to go over and play overseas in China. And I said, that would be a freaking great idea, because all publicity is good publicity. He's famous or infamous out there. And if he end up turning around and showing them that he's a pretty decent dude and making one of the teams win for the Guangdong Dragons or whatever, nigga, they would they would love him out there like they love Stephon Marbury's ghetto ass out there, man.
Right.
They got statues of him.
They got a statue of this dude.
Yeah,
they love the Jimmer out there right now.
Right, and as they should, because he's out there balling and doing his thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if either the two younger boys ended up having a successful career out overseas, and I wouldn't be mad at him one single bit. I think that would be a smart play to do, and might even take LeVar Ball and have him out there speaking Mongolian instead of talking to our fucking press all the time and being on TV. That would be cool too.
Think about that benefit. That would be dope.
Yeah.
Speak into existence.
I'll speak that shit dead into existence. Stay in your lane out there.
Yeah, man. With the way that the NCAA is, man, and everything that's been going on with NCAA basketball and the crackdown, you got the FBI and the damn feds on your back. Maybe you can want to really start looking at different routes. And again, if you're not in that ball situation, that's a way that you can start making money immediately while you get your pro career on track. Yeah. And again, it might not be traditional education, but that worldly education might actually do you a lot better in life if you wasn't even caring about college in the first place. You out there playing basketball, you getting your experience, you're going against people that might be equivalent to NCAA Division I talent.
Yep.
Why not do that? If you have the maturity to go overseas for a year, maybe bring a support system with you, why not do that?
Man, I say, you know how I feel about the NCAA. I think some of the rules are bullshit. I think that it's a scam. And I think that these dudes that are fucking, especially one and done players or people that are even, I don't give a damn if you're even two and done, anything but getting your degree, then all that bullshit about, oh, you get a free education is nothing but that bullshit. And they're making the schools all kind of money.
Yeah, man.
I call for a boycott of that bullshit. I call for a boycott of that bullshit. Michael Porter Jr. is a player that went to, I think, where's he at? I forgot. I can't think of it right now. But he's in college now. He was the far and away number one player of his high school year. Last year he graduated. He went to college. There's him and one other player, Marvin Bagley, that you would consider and say, oh, them are the two top dudes out there, in my opinion, right? Michael Porter breaks his fucking back in like his first game.
Oh, yeah.
On a college court. You know what I'm saying? Man, dog, that dude should be somewhere. That dude should be somewhere with some millions of dollars, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and hopefully that brother had an insurance policy or something. But
but I'm sure he'll be back or whatever, and everything that happened. But he should have broke his shit on an NBA court. That's real talk. If he was going to be breaking his damn back, because they were hype. And I was watching the game, dude, on everything. And after the game, and they found out, or 2 days later after the game, they were talking about it. And I'm listening. I'm watching these old dudes on the, on ESPN 2 or 3 talking about how, oh yeah, the team is really going to be hurting after this one. They were counting on him to draw more recruits and blah, 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 and his coach and all of this shit about the university, and how they're losing now that he even broke his fucking back. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious, dog. I'm like, man, they ain't talking about this boy, missing out on millions of dollars. They ain't talking about this boy, missing out a year of development towards his craft that is going to feed generations to come. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
This little dude, man, so I'm fully with anybody, especially the Ball family, who I got that West Coast, Inland Empire, California love for. Go get your money however you can get it, because these motherfuckers ain't giving you nothing. And they would love to have you believe that somehow you lucked into some damn free education for a year when your ass been training since you was a baby. Your whole life, son.
Hey, and you know what? I'm not going to go as far as to say a boycott, but what I would do is highly encourage anybody to really take a step back if you're that type of dude and really look at all your options, because you will be monetized and you might as well come up a little bit of that yourself if it's your talent that's being capitalized on. So really start to look at all these options, man. The world is a big place. Put it that way, man.
Yeah, man. And maybe boycott is a little bit strong, but definitely flex the power of the athlete that you've become, because, you know, I hated to see how Jadeveon Clowney, I think that was him, or maybe, no, maybe it was somebody else, but that football player that got some fucking crab legs for free for being
Jameis
famous.
Winston.
Jameis Winston, that's right. You know, got some free crab legs, and they were hating on him behind that shit, you know, trying to drop his stock, you know, when millions are being made off this fool's back. You know what I'm saying? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Anyways, this has been a fun conversation, bro. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I hope y'all liked it out there listening.
Hopefully. And don't forget, go to westcoastcrossover.com.
Yeah.
Go to Facebook.
Yeah.
Join the group. Like the page.
Yeah.
Contribute. Make some comments. Ask some questions. We will ask them on the show. Answer them on the show.
This has been Jeremiah the Prophet.
And I am JD.
And we are out this month.
Out.